Hello, Cancer. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. All right, Cancer. So we begin the reading with a tarot card. Every reading, as I'm setting up, I pull a card. Today we got, the Hanged Man. So I know in popular culture, the Hanged Man, the Death card, the Devil card, these are all like, oh no, I don't want that card. I don't get that feeling from these, well, all three of those cards, but especially the Hanged Man. Now, there is an ending. Okay, there's something that has to be left behind, cut away, sacrificed, right? But with the Hanged Man, in my estimation, this is a person, not unlike Woden or, I forget, Wednesday, I guess, this god form, who willingly sacrifices themselves to hang from the tree of life and linger there, right? I mean, in this story, he hangs there for a long time. I mean, I think it's, I don't know. I can't remember. For some reason, I'm thinking like 27 days. It could have been longer. It could have been shorter. I don't know. It was a lot. It seems like a lot. And that's what this is about. Not to be hanging from a tree of life, right? But to intentionally sacrifice something in your life because it does not serve you well or anymore, right? So this is not a bad card. It's not a negative card. Everything has its wholeness, right? Some things we're going to like about it. Sometimes we're not going to like parts of it, right? And so you're given an opportunity to decide, I know that this is the right choice. I need to leave this job. I need to exit this relationship. I need to, stop. For me this year, it's been on and off trying to stop drinking pop, right? Sometimes we just get to this point where it's like, I need to make the decision. Because the Death card is when the decision is made for you, right? It's done, over, gone, right? And you don't always get to be a part of that decision-making process. This card you do. So I look at it as a blessing when it comes up, because we all know that we have things that need to be decluttered from our life, right? We need to kind of do a cleansing, right? And usually, if you're like me, it's something that always needs to be happening. But when we get to that point where it's like, okay, now I'm ready to do this, that's the Hanged Man energy. Okay. Let's go ahead. We're going to take a look here, and I don't want to drop this thing. Let's see what we have going on. And I want to say thank you so much for deciding to click on the reading and spend some time with me here today. My monitor is not being nice to me right now. So we have the number 7 again. 7 keeps showing up in everything today. My own tarot reading. Every day I do a tarot reading for myself before I get started. And I got 2 7s, of course. And then my last reading, we had a 7 as well. So 7 seems to be the number. Okay. 7 is the number. Now we have, it looks like a person sitting here. It looks like in a kneeling, maybe even meditative posture. The head is here, the body is here. Now in front, it looks like we have a dog, okay, kind of sitting beside. So to me, this feels very much like a kindred person in your life, a kindred spirit, a companion, a best friend, somebody that is endlessly loyal to you and you are endlessly loyal to them. It might actually be your dog, right? So we have that energy. It feels very unified, okay? You also feel like you are at peace. There is a sense of ease that has just kind of blanketed the landscape of your life recently, okay? So then over here, we have what looks like two people, one here, one here. This one is wearing a top hat, you can see, right in there. Now, it's also the number 4. You can see that pretty clearly as well. But it is a person wearing a top hat. It looks like maybe a cape. Now, we have another person here who has their hand out, and it almost feels like they are kind of meeting each other. Okay, they're hand in hand, looking into each other's eyes. Now, down here, we have, it looks like the arrow. Okay, now the front of the arrow maybe is already into this person, but you can see the back here as well. So it tells me, and we have a cat right there, it tells me that there has been, I feel like you've fallen in love. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. You've fallen in love. With the top hat, it feels to me almost kind of like somebody who is very serious, very adult, very grown up. You know, I'm 40 years old and I'm still, like, I meet people, I'm like, oh, they fancy. Oh, that's a real, for real grown up over there. You know, so I feel like it is. It's somebody who's very serious, very well put together. I don't feel like this is, I almost wonder if it's you, actually. I don't think that you usually go for very serious people. I mean, serious people, of course, but like, I feel like you need, or you usually are drawn to somebody who's maybe a little bit more casual, easygoing, maybe a little more animated. You know, maybe you're drawn to like the Scorpios, the Tauruses, that kind of thing. But I don't think that usually you're into like that Capricorn or even kind of Cancer vibe. But here I do. I feel that there is a sense of meeting somebody who kind of activates or confirms a part of yourself that you are very beloved of. And I think that is that you like that you're a serious person. You might even be like an academic person, very well spoken, and you know, you don't speak on things unless you know something about them. And I feel like this person that you have met, it's even more so, right? And so I do feel like there is a deep partnership here. I feel like you have some shared interests. Maybe you work in the same industry or field, and there goes my stomach. I'm sorry. I'm fasting. And usually I feel like you would not go for somebody who is into the similar stuff as you. Like, I feel like you kind of like enjoy being part of like your subculture, your work environment, even within your family, as being somebody who is kind of on the fringe. You kind of do your own thing. You march to the beat of your own drum. And usually when it's like game recognized game, right? You see somebody, you meet somebody who's like kind of on the same vibe as you. I don't feel like you usually like go out of your way to get to know somebody like that, you know? But I think that in this case, this is going to be a pleasant surprise for you. I do. I feel a strong bond here. And I just feel like part of it as well is that you are in a state of ease in your life. Things feel like they have been turbulent, right, in the last few months, but I feel like you're getting into a place where you're in less immediate stress. Right? There's still the lingering Cancer stress that you always have, right? Cancer people, you are wonderful at worrying about stuff, or not even just worrying, but like you're planning. Like if you have like, for instance, like something, I'm starting to think about the end of the year's coming up and taxes and, stuff like that. Like instead of laying in bed at 3 a.m, kind of starting to worry about like all the things you need to get together and this and that, you're like proactive. Like you're setting up like the system you need to like, organize all of the files that you have and make sure you have all the right paperwork and, and that proactive quality you have, it really does it balances you out. It's, for you, if you have to sit there and just think about the thing and there's nothing you can do about it in that moment, it starts to eat you alive. It really does. So I feel that you have been involved, in the things that are coming into your mind space, the inspirations, the motivations, the magnetism that you're feeling, and you're getting up and you're participating in it, right? So then I do feel that this really kind of is like the thing that lets that energy flow within these more, it could be romantic, right? But to me, it's a sense of partnership. It's a sense of meeting somebody or re-engaging with somebody who's already in your life, right? Where you feel like you can be yourself. You can just be whatever you are. And oftentimes, that's you being a more serious person. Where a lot of people probably in your life are constantly asking you what's wrong. Are you mad or are you upset about something? Because, well, part of it is maybe you just don't, you're not trying to mask all the time. And you're just kind of in like you're detached maybe or deeply in thought or whatever. But I feel like with this person, there's a sense of just being able to exist, and you don't have to explain yourself, and you don't have to worry like, oh, am I going to make them mad or, and I feel like that kind of freedom for you, for a Cancer, is everything. I use the term parallel play a lot. Both of my husband and I are neurodivergent, but he is a Cancer, and I'm a Virgo, right? And he also has, I think he's an ascendant Virgo, but there are so many times where we want it, like we're always together. Everything we do is together. He's like, 20 feet away from me right now, recording in the other room. We're always near each other. We don't always want to interact. Not that we're fighting or, like there's something wrong or we're whatever. We're just in our own little bubbles. We both are just absolutely hyper-focused if we get into something. And I feel like when you find a person in your life where you can just exist with them and you don't always have to feel like you have to be on or you have to like be catering to making them comfortable all the time, there's such a freedom. It is such a freedom. And nothing compares to that kind of, I don't know, ease and attachment, like comfortable attachment, in my humble opinion. So I do feel you getting into a space where, yeah, it does feel very much like there is this intense bond that is growing because, yeah, you can be you, Cancer, and you don't have to worry about, making anybody uncomfortable or upset or not engaging, not talking enough. I'm sure you hear that a lot too. You never want to talk. Okay, so we have the house right here in the window. We have a person over here holding a cup. So we have the Ace of Cups. Now we have another person over here who it seems is holding a bird, standing on top of a fish, and then we have another fish jumping over here. And then down here, I'm going to read this as somebody who is traveling. They have even like, it looks like one of those pickaxes. So like climbing mountains, right? On a journey. Now in the middle, we also have, it looks like a carrot or a turnip or some kind of root vegetable like that. So to me, it feels that there's been, an emphasis on money. Of course, we're all worried about money. We're all worried about what the economy is going to be like, what the, how are we going to pay all of our bills? What is it going to look like in 10 years from now? What are my kids going to do? What are my we're all. And if you're not, I don't know what your secret is, but, let us know. I think the only thing I can think of is like, I remember I was so broke through 2008 and 2009 and 2010. I didn't even realize I knew we were in a recession and stuff, but I was so poor. I was so broke that it didn't really fully always register to me because I'm like, bro, this is how I live. It's always a recession over here. But, I think that obviously the older you get, the more responsibilities you have, you're going to worry. You're going to worry. So I do feel like that's been something that you have been really thinking about. Like, how am I going to continue to build my wealth or security up, money, security and resources. And I do feel that there is something here where, maybe you come up with some kind of idea for a business or like a side hustle, or, you start to think about like getting that raise at work or trying to get into a new department or position or whatever it is, right? I feel like you have been very proactive. I do feel that there is going to be a increase in money flowing your way, because we have the jumping fish too. Opportunities are going to present themselves. Now, it's going to be up to you to overcome your initial kind of impulse to not want to add things to your plate or This seems like a kind of an inconvenience, and, it's going to end up being on like a Friday evening, and, you didn't want to have to go work on a Friday evening or whatever. Maybe, well, I'll do the next one. No. You put this energy out there. You want these opportunities. You got to take them. Now, I'm not saying every little thing, especially if it's not a good deal. But, yeah, I feel like this is a time where you got to step out of your, like, normal comfort zone and take the opportunity. Okay? Because money is going to come. And this is going to prove to help you set up for the next cycle that will be coming. So what does that mean? Yeah, maybe like starting a business. Maybe you are getting that raise. Maybe you are going to have, the opportunity to move to a different department, or maybe go back to school and get more certification, or, whatever it is. And I do feel like this is something that is going to really get you in that Four of Discs energy, that fortified domestic realm, right? Bills paid, house clean, organized, feels good to be there. People in your life happy, at least, not in a tizzy. I keep thinking, and this is what keeps echoing in my head, the house is filled with voices, but they're not loud. There's not any yelling, and it's not silent. Nobody's ignoring each other. There's conversation happening. Okay? And that feels wonderful, beloved, So I feel like there's a sense of stabilization in that domestic realm. Okay. And over here with the person with the cup, now holding the Ace of Cups. Okay. This is the Grail. This is the person returning from their hero's journey. They have found the thing that, most holy artifact that holds the life waters. Right? The dew of the gods, the thing that animates all things. Well, one of the things, right? So we also need that fire. So I feel that you are in a place where you can really look at yourself and see that like you've accomplished so much more than you ever imagined you would. I have a feeling that you maybe come from a rough start. You maybe come from a home that was turbulent, or maybe there was like financial issues, not a lot of opportunity. Maybe you come from a part of the world or country where you didn't have as many opportunities. But you didn't give up, and you've never given up, and you will never give up. And you have built something for yourself, not only a life that maybe you could have never imagined, but you as a being. You have worked diligently to refine self. You have entered individuation with eyes wide open. You are intentionally developing who you are as a being, not just in the physical world. All of these things, they feed you. You've become something to behold. Something beautiful, an apparition, something otherworldly, something ethereal. Ethereal? Is that how you say it? Yes, I think so. Anyways, you've become, and you are becoming, and you've always been, right? You're remembering, maybe. And I feel like it flows through your life. This is how people are experiencing you. If you ran into somebody you haven't seen for years, they would barely recognize you. Not because you look so different, because you feel completely different. And I believe that you can look at yourself and you can see, I have outdone myself in a lot of ways. And I see that. And I am very, grateful to those versions of yourself that have done the work to get you to where you are. And I feel that you fully continue to honor those parts of self, those iterations of your being, by continuing to do the work, staying the course. Less and less affects you. That's the thing. And people around you might think, oh, you're getting cold. Oh, you're aloof. You're not paying attention. You don't care. No. You have been climbing your mountain. You probably care more than most people that you've ever met. But you don't let your emotions rule you. Because you know that they are transient. You know that they are not meant to stay. You're not meant to be happy all the time. You're not meant to be angry or controlling or, deeply in love, infatuated. These are things that come and go as they should. For once they stop being novel, they just become the same mold. And that's where we end up getting stuck. So I do feel that, there's a sense of I am rising in you. The I am. And we'll get over to this person over here. I do feel that in this next period of time, you will be creating something. If it's a piece of art, if it's music, if it's a video on YouTube, I don't know what it is, but you have something to say. You have something to convey to the greater collective. And it is also an evergreen tree. And so this is a timeless message. This is a thing that will always mean something to somebody. So this might be like your first thing that like goes viral, or your first thing that like you really start to get some attention. You write like a short story, you put it out. All of a sudden you're starting to get people, emailing you and wanting to, do you have any books out? That kind of thing. So I do feel that this is going to be a time where not only is there very apparent growth, but you are creating, and you are creating more than you are consuming. You feel so imbalanced with things. It feels nice. It feels good. You don't trust it though. That's the thing. You cannot fully trust it. But okay, and this I do feel has a lot to do with this Hanged Man energy, is letting go of the old compulsion, to belittle or minimize what you are achieving, what you have done, what you will do, what you are doing. Now, I'm not saying that you need to throw yourself a parade every time something good happens or you achieve something. And if you want to, go ahead, do it up. But I think that I get this feeling of like it being such a brave thing for you to just allow yourself to like, to even like suggest that you have done an amazing job. Like even just saying that, I think is hard for you. That, yeah, I'm really good at this. And but I feel like for maybe the first time in your life, you're allowing yourself to be in that. To really be honest with yourself and say, I've worked really, really freaking hard to get here. I have gone through it. I have walked through, the rings of HE double hockey sticks to get to this place, And a lot of it you've probably done yourself, because that's how a Cancer is. So, yeah, I do. I feel like it's all coming together. Absolutely. Now, not everybody's going to understand it, though. And especially people who have not, either have not been through hard things or I don't know, maybe they've been through hard things, but they're not doing any kind of work, right? They're just existing. Those people are the ones that are going to, find it difficult to not get what they want from you. I mean, ultimately, and the more you heal and the more you grow and the more confident and in your wholeness you are activated, and I don't want to say become, because you always are, but you are aware, right? And when you get into that place, you're not going to put up with any BS from anybody. Because you don't have time for all of that. You're not going to play those games. Like, you have nothing to prove to anybody. You have nothing that you have to, like, you owe to somebody. You don't need to show out. And so I just feel a real sense of freedom for you. I do. All right, let's take a look. So we have, it looks like some wind. Maybe a few anxiety raising problems, but then we also have the Dove up here. So it is, I think that there's going to be some stuff to kind of work out, to tinker with, to, do your adjustments. But ultimately, I feel that you come into a place where you are feeling quite peaceful. Okay. You are feeling, I almost get this, like, this energy of, oh, great, here we go again. And you're getting into that doom thinking, but you kind of push that off, right? Don't let me dwell in that too long. I do not want to backslide, right? Into that cynical, kind of, all locked up and angry and whatever. Not where we're going. So you kind of push it off, and what happens, right? Things start to, like, fall into place. They're working out, all of this, like, disaster. Okay, let's take it one step at a time. Let's do this. Baby steps. We'll tackle the whole deal, right? And as that happens and you loosen up, I feel like there's just this sense of, again, like, here it is. I'm proving to myself that I am changing as a being, where this might have made me lose it, a couple years ago. Here I am. Staying calm, being present, doing the dang thing, getting it done, not just letting it hang out and procrastinating, and I'm getting more and more, worried about it and upset. No, you just do it and get it done, and you feel good about it. Or feel good that it's, it's checked off the list. And I think that's profoundly freeing for some people. And I think for you, definitely. All right, let's do our lucky numbers, and we're going to get Number 3. Number 3. 61. 361 and... let's see. I think it's going to be 67. 67. All right. And we'll do our wild offering oracle cards. And I'm just going to go ahead. I'll flip through. Stop where it feels right. And it says solitude. Okay. Once you embrace the inner divine and your own sacred solitude, the right people arrive at the right time. Excuse me, that wasn't the right time for that. The right people the right people arrive at the right time. Exactly on schedule, without forcing or chasing. There we go. Perfect. Everybody in balance. All right. Well, Cancer, I love you. Thank you for being here with me. It is always such a pleasure. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. I'm going to wrap this up right now. I love you. Take care of yourself. We'll talk in a few days. Good night.